Hey, I'm pouring a ginger ale. I am pouring a ginger ale. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a really serious case that has an update, and that is the little Elena Hembree. We have talked about her before. Cold Case Crystal has covered her case. I love Cold Case Crystal, and she has been the main one that has covered Elena. Well, we have a new indictment. We have a new indictment um, upon this guy. Hold on a minute. Hold on. My hands are sticky. My hands are sticky with the candy. Let me pull up a good picture of Elena for you guys, and then I will tell you guys what we know so far in the story of little Elena. Such a sad, sad story, you guys. Like I said, I've covered it before. Crystal was actually over here talking about it before. I kind of wanted a different picture, but I'll show you guys this picture. Hey, Poppy. What is up with you, girl? Hey, H. Okay, so this is little Elena Hembree. She was 17 months old. 17 months old. There is so much to this story. Elena passed away on July 30th of 2023 at the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. She was taken to the hospital 2 days prior. The toddler showed signs of physical and sexual abuse. And I'm going to leave my banner up there, the same banner. Elena is finally getting a little bit of justice. So, let me get Crystal's pulled up. I'm going to show you guys some of Crystal's live that she did. And I'm sorry, Crystal, I wasn't there. I had a doctor's appointment today. So I wish I'd have been there, girl. If I would have been home, you know I would have been there. So they decided that Elena's passing was determined to be non-accidental blunt force trauma. Now, if you guys go back and remember when we first talked about Elena's case, they talked about they had found numerous DNA on little Elena's remains. They are moving forward with the assistance of the FBI. As the case progresses, the community is being urged to allow the legal process to unfold. They're very appreciative of individuals with that understanding. Now, Elena's mother, Erica Lawson, now she's been indicted on charges of red rum, failure to report child dependency, neglect, or abuse, and wanton endangerment in the first degree. They've taken the DP off of the table for her. Now, Of course, her attorney wants the case against her to be dismissed or for the court to remove the possibility of the DP. Now, they have, okay? In the case of her mother, they have taken the DP off the table. Now, I'm going to try to remember some of this case. Like I said, Crystal's been covering it. Cold Case Crystal's been covering it. And so she does know a lot of what's going on. But let's pull up this indictment. Now, this guy's name is, he's 44-year-old Harvey Gallahan of Middlesboro. There are 4-count indictment charges with red rum, 3 counts of criminal abuse in the first degree for his role in the unaliving of 17-month-old Elena Hembree. Let's read this indictment. The indictment reads, Count 1, red rum for wantonly engaging in conduct which created grave risk of death to Elena, a child under the age of 12, thereby causing her passing. Count 2 through 4. Now, this is interesting. Count 2 through 4, it states that between the dates of July 4th, 2023, and July 30th, they're saying that Harvey Gallahan committed the offense of criminal abuse in the first degree by permitting another person to be abused and thereby causing torture, cruel confinement, or cruel punishment. Now, this states that in his care and control during the requisite time. So, are they saying that within that time that he was in control of who was around Elena? So on July 28th, 2023 is when Elena was taken to the hospital. Due to the extreme nature of her injuries, she was flown to the East Tennessee Children's Hospital, where she passed away days later on July 30th. Based on the medical evidence, it was determined that Elena suffered blunt force trauma to the, and I have to say trigger warning, to the back of her head approximately 48 to 72 hours before being taken to the emergency room. It was determined that the trauma to the child was not physically apparent, but discovered later by the medical examiner. So, Elena suffered blunt force trauma, but they didn't, it didn't show physically until it was examined by the medical examiner, when she was examined by the medical examiner. Now, Erica Lawson, Elena's mother, is being charged with manslaughter, criminal abuse of a child under 12, failure to report child abuse, and wanton endangerment. Like I said, they did drop the DP on her mother. The judge ruled the case did not meet the requirements to warrant the DP. He changed the wording from intentionally causing the passing to wantonly causing the passing. Now, hey, May, hey, Debbie, I want you guys to listen to this. Gallahan was among several other suspects whose DNA was tested in connection with the case. So, if we go back to the beginning, the hospital claimed that there were like 5 different DNA on Elena's body. So it was determined that Gallahan was directly involved in the events and conduct that led to the passing of a child. They served him with the indictment this morning, May 8th, which was this morning, at the Bell County Detention Center, where he was being held on several pending charges. There's more evidence being analyzed by the KSP Forensic Lab, who returned proof that Gallahan was connected to the case, which led to the indictment. All right. Let me hop over here to Crystal's. Now, Crystal has a woman up on her panel. Her name is Carol. She actually took care of little baby Elena. So I definitely want to hear what she has to say. And like I said, Crystal knows this case inside and out. She really does. It's so sad. I want to, hold on. Hold on, you guys. I want to try to do this right. I want to try to do it right. I think this is not what I'm looking for. Let me see something here, you guys. That is a podcast. Okay. This case is so sad. We have child abuse, child sexual abuse, child neglect, domestic violence, substance usage. So many things go into little Alana's case. Now, if you guys go back, and I suggest you go over and watch Crystal. Hold on, I'm going to pull up her link. Crystal, let me get your link up. And like I said, Crystal we seen a picture of Elena Hembree's father holding her in the hospital room after Elena passed away. It was very disturbing. We also seen a message where this guy, oh, thank you, Poppy. I threw it in there, girl, but thank you. this man that is being indicted right now was having a conversation with Elena's dad. And what I remember of that disgusted me because they were stating that this man was being accused of doing sexual things to baby Elena. And the dad was like, oh, you're okay with me. We're good, right? I mean, horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay. All right. I am going to let you guys hear some of Crystal. And let me see. I am going to, and like I said, Crystal has put everything that she has into baby Elena's story. She's worked hard on it. She's got so much information on it. And I'm sure you guys can find in my playlist somewhere. Well, not on my playlist, but in one of my lives where we had a heartfelt discussion about this baby. So, okay, wait a minute. She's playing music here. Okay, here we go. All right. So Crystal reads the indictment. And I didn't read that part to you guys, but I will. I'll let Crystal do it. Chris. Now, see, the thing that I kind of remember too, um, why, little Deb? Why? Why do you want to know that? Does it? Why? That's kind of a weird question, but okay. What I remember also is that Elena's, and I've got to share it with you guys. You're not going to be able to hear it unless I share it. Elena's mom was trying to say that she wasn't even at home, that she was down, I believe it was down the road at some neighbor's house or something. So this whole case really does have abuse, sexual abuse, substance abuse, domestic violence, all rolled into one. And who paid the price? Who paid the price for all of that? Right? 17-month-old Elena did.
Since then, we have had reports come out that says SA was involved, and her mom was arrested, and she has been held on a $1 million bond. Also, when they first came out, it was for the death penalty that was taken off the table. But this morning, one of my mods and one of my good friends got up with me and said, "Hey, have you saw this?" And I'm just going to show you what the update is because, like I said, it has been a long time coming. And again, this.
And thank you, Crystal, for covering Elena. Thank you for that. Every once in a while, and I'm sorry, I got ICE in my mouth. There's a case that takes a hold of your heart. There's a case that takes a hold of your heart. And it's not that other cases that involve children don't take a hold of your heart, but there's always one that you you can't grasp why something so horrible would happen to that child. That mother, whether she was there or not, she left that baby with a bunch of people. Those people, not only, it sounds like, did horrible things to baby Elena, but allowed others, while she was in their care, to do horrible things also. Now, the blunt force trauma, like I said, they didn't see that until the medical examiner did their exam. So, this baby went through this from the beginning of July till like the end of July. It's horrible.
This won't take too long. Okay. Okay, look, let me know when.
And I'm not going to read that. I won't have Crystal read it because I already read it to you guys.
I knew that was crap. Then got to looking into it, and what it was it was a certain R kit that was used. And you got to keep in mind, it took 48 to 78 hours to even take her to the ER. Put a 1 in chat if you think she had a bath by then, if they tried to clean her up by then.
I would
now, I
say
will not go
one,
into detail,
Crystal.
but I have seen text messages from the people in a work group from that hospital. Dutch knows she's in chat. She knows I'm telling the truth. They were horrendous. But I will always respect this baby on this channel. But I have to say, I'm one happy camper that someone else is being charged to.
And I truly believe we're going to see more charges. I don't think that this Gallahan is going to be the only one that ends up being indicted. I'm pretty sure that they're probably hoping that this guy is going to tell them who else was involved, or they're just waiting on the rest of the DNA to come back.
Hey, Chico. Hey, Flies. Hey, Dutchie. I think this is a win, you all. This is finally starting to become a win for Elena.
It is. It is. She's so beautiful. You know what? Look at that nasty guy. Look at that nasty guy. Can you imagine? No, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't freaking imagine. Thank you, Poppy. I couldn't imagine that little girl having to look at this man's face while he's doing horrible things to her. He needs the DP.
Look at that little baby.
It's sad. So sad. So Carol, okay, hold on. Crystal's showing someone by the name of Flies' comments in the way. Brian something. Let's see what he's saying.
606-337-1063.
Okay.
All right. A suspect in a Middlesbrough case that made national headlines has been indicted after a battle between the dates of July 4th of 2023 and July 30th of 2023. The defendant.
Okay, he's just reading the affidavit again. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward Crystal a little bit. Like I said, you guys go check out Crystal. I love Crystal. She's such a nice person. But this woman named Carol actually, hey, Katie with a K, actually took care of Elena. And at one point had Elena kind of in her custody. And she was made to give Elena back to the mother. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you so much.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you?
You did, yes. But finally, she's going to have her justice.
For those of you that are just coming in to chat or you're new to chat, because you all, I don't beat a case in the head. If there's no news, I don't report on it. You can ask Carol. I've talked to her since this happened. Carol, do I aggravate you about this case?
No, ma'am. Just every now and then to check in to see how I'm doing.
But when there is something to report, I'll come on here and I'll tell you all about it. But Carol, you want to tell everybody, we've got some new subs to the channel and new people in the chat. You want to give them a brief overview of who you are? And
Elena wasn't, baby Elena wasn't mine by blood, but she called me Mimi, and she was my Elena bug. She was basically my chosen granddaughter.
This is so sad.
I loved her better than life. I was destroyed when this happened. And today she's going to have her justice. Thank you, God.
Carol took care of Elena, and then
Yes.
and they lived with Carol for how many months, Carol?
They lived with me for 10 months.
10 months she had that baby.
I met Elena when she was 7 or 8 months old, and then they ended up moving in with me, and she stayed with me for close to 10 months. She was the sunshine in my life.
How long had they been just for the ones I know you've told
Carol.
me, so I mean it's not like I'm that forgetful, but for the people that don't know, how long was Elena moved out before this happened to her?
Elena left my house. Oh, sorry, Crystal. Elena left my house at around the end of June. She was only gone for a little over 3 weeks when she passed away.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, you all. Did you see where it said from July the 4th to July the 30th of the cruel confinement and all that?
I remember I had told you that I had gotten her on July the 4th and her face was all bruised up, and I had raised mortal Cain wanting to know why. That was the last day I saw her, was July the 4th of 2023.
That was what came to my mind when I seen that.
So, hey, crazy, what are you doing? Go find your mouse. So she's saying around July 4th is the last time she's seen Elena, and she apparently had bruising on her then.
You know, they wanted to act like she fell on a sippy cup. We know better now. What's done in the dark comes out, you all.
So I guess the story they were telling Carol was that Elena fell on a sippy cup.
And you know, it broke my heart, because I even had told you July the 4th was the last day I seen her, and then after that they kept her hidden from me and wouldn't let me see her.
Well, of course. If you'd seen her being abused, Carol, you, no offense, and I don't mean this to sound horrible, but you'd probably be in prison right now.
I would definitely be in prison, but I would be sitting there with a smile on my face.
No doubt. When I got home this morning, I got a message and said,
so Carol contacted law enforcement when she seen the bruising on the face. I don't remember, and I'm just asking. Did she contact law enforcement at that time?
Indicted. And you know, he has a rap sheet longer than you can imagine. So my reply was 4. And then when they told me that it was in Elena's case, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you so much. And I've got to tell everybody about this. This is breaking news, you all. He was indicted today. Today is the 8th, ain't it? I ain't telling it wrong, am I?
Yeah, today's the 8th.
So, but I immediately thought, at first I thought, I'm going to call Carol. And then I thought, I'll post it on the page that I'm going live. And then you messaged me while I was live and said,
let me tell you guys, if you don't think someone feels horrible, Carol already felt horrible that she couldn't keep Elena. And then to find out that within a 3-week period, horrific things had been done to Elena. I cannot and will not sit here and act like that I know how Carol feels, because I don't. That has to be such a... I'm sure Carol's feeling all kinds of emotions.
Have you heard? So I invited her. I asked her, did she want to come up? Not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to say from the bottom of my heart that I feel such a relief. I feel like justice may actually, because I've had my doubts. I've had my doubts on what they were doing in this case. But
So have I.
It started. This was one big goal that we got done. And now she's getting justice. But
God's not done yet, Kristen. God's not done yet.
Oh, no, he's not done yet. February the 20th will forever be Elena Rosalie Hembree Day. And what great justice would it be if they ended up going to court on her birthday and found guilty?
Well,
if
honey,
the verdict come back on her birthday, would that not just be the cherry on top?
That would be the icing on the cake for me.
This case is from Middlesboro, Kentucky. Elena was 17 months old. She had been abused. We've heard all kinds of rumors, and I'm not one to spread rumors, but if you can imagine everything, if you followed the Summer Wells case, everything that was speculated in her case was done in this one. And at first, it was just the mom that was arrested,
Paige.
and she was charged with murder. They were going after the death penalty, held on a $1 million bond. Then I think it was February of this year, the judge said there was not a case for the death penalty, so they took that off the table. We felt like that was a blow.
And I'm going to say this, you guys. You don't have to listen to me tell Elena's story, but go let Crystal tell you Elena's story. She knows so much about it. I know that a lot of people on social media, you guys like the drama and you like the creators bickering back and forth. And, I enjoy a little bit of it myself sometimes. But if you're truly on here for the children, don't forget about the children. You know what I mean? Don't forget about the children. And like I said, you don't have to listen to me tell Elena's story today. Crystal does a wonderful job of it. And, but like I said, a lot of you people came to social media for a child. All of you that congregate in that little clickety-click, whatever you want to call it, you came because of a child. You came because you thought that a child went missing under horrific circumstances and horrific things were being done. The only thing I ask you guys, don't forget, there are too many children that horrible shit is happening to them. Horrible things. So, take it for what you will. For real, take it for what you will. Somebody somewhere on this social media circus is talking about horrific things that are being done to kids. And let me tell you guys something. I covered Elena. Anytime Crystal has an update on Elena, I absolutely try to, use her name and bring attention to her name. This case is horrible. Horrible. I showed you what that nasty man looked like. And he's just one. And I really hope that all the other DNA that they found on her, that they find out who that DNA belonged to. Because let me tell you guys something. If this piece of shit wouldn't have already been in jail and he did those things to Elena, I'll say allegedly, but they have his DNA, right? What do you think might have been happening to another child? Another child. If these monsters get away with it one time, don't think that they're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have did that to that kid. I shouldn't have did that to that little child. I shouldn't have done that to that baby. I shouldn't have done that to that toddler. I will never do that again. If you believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you have to sit and even think that being accused of such a thing, you think that's all right? I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But that's what's happened. So many people came out on social media, you know, they're little, you want to call them Summer Wells case people, whatever you guys call them, Summer Wells community. I kind of think, and this is the way I like to think about it, that Summer would want them talking about other children too, wouldn't she? I think she would. I really do. I think Summer would want people showing and talking about what's happening with other children too. But to each their own, right? To each their own.
Smack to the face.
Yes. And then, but which this whole time we have all wondered why did they not rope off that house? Why did they not consider that as a crime scene? But Elena's mom waited anywhere from 48 to 78 8 hours to even take her to the emergency room. She was flown to the Children's Hospital in Tennessee.
When they waited 48 to 72 hours to take Elena to the hospital, guess what? They probably cleaned up the crime scene. Like Crystal said earlier, they probably gave Elena a bath. And so I question, where exactly did they find his DNA on that baby? Where exactly did they find that DNA on that baby? Now, we can get technical. I can pull back up exactly what they said. There were I'll just find it and play it because it's really it's a lot to everything that they say was shown on Elena. There was so much that, I mean, that medical examiner had to have been like, WTF, right? But it had something to do with her mouth.
They put her on a ventilator, unfortunately, due to her horrendous. I'm trying to be caring here, but due to her injuries, she succumbed to them on July the 30th, and we have been fighting ever since to get justice. It was absolutely horrific. The real Rockin' Robin. It was horrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
And popcorn and M&Ms. Thank you for being with us. Everything you heard in that case, and some things that people haven't came up with, happened in this one. Right off Jump Street, I was sent messages from a group chat of the nurses that worked at ARH, and the description they gave was horrible. These people deserve to be underneath the jail, prosecuted to the utmost extent. I'm not going to stand here and act like I'm God. I'm not even sure how I feel about the death penalty. But this was one case I was like, well, if she gets it, she gets it. Because this case bothered me so bad. Elena was at the time of her passing was the same age as my granddaughter. Their birthday is 2 months apart. So it was horrible. Anytime you have 6 males DNA tested, that should tell you the validity and the extreme of the case. Oh, it's not sympathy. It's not sympathy. What it is with me personally is my religious beliefs that kind of butt heads with it. But like I said, I was not objective in this one. I think whoever hurt that baby, they deserve everything that's coming to them.
Amen. I agree.
Me too.
Yes, it is. It's what nightmares are made of.
Crystal.
And she was in a home up until 3 weeks. She was gone 3 weeks before this child turned up deceased. But she was in a home being well taken care of. Carol wasn't asking for anybody to support her. Carol was doing that. The breakfast that she got, Carol was making it.
And Crystal, I give you anything to still have it.
Oh, I know you would, honey. I know you would.
It's still hard for me to eat pancakes. It's been almost 2 years.
I know Elena loved pancakes.
Loved them. She loved little $half size blueberry pancakes, and she had to have her own little cup of syrup so she could dip them herself.
But if I could add anything else you want to say, Carol, because I know this is a good day for you.
This is an absolutely amazing day for me. But you know, all the praise, the honor, and the glory are going to God today. Thank him, thank him, thank him for answered prayers. It's a good day.
Yes. The Real Rockin' Robin says, prayers for you, Carol. Thank you for the love you have for Elena. And I want to expand upon that and say thank you for the love that you gave her. Because before I met you, I wondered who loved this baby. And I don't know if I've told you this. I probably have. But it brought so much peace to me knowing the love that you gave her.
Well, you know, though, Crystal, it was my honor and my privilege to have loved her as good as I did. That was a gift that God had given me, and I'll forever love that baby with all that I am.
And I think that love carries on, Carol.
Yes, it does.
The people that we love, we may say goodbye to when they leave this world, but that love don't go away. Those memories don't go away. And it's those things that gets us through the hard days.
There have been a lot of, Crystal, there have been a lot of hard days, but I'll never say goodbye to her. It's until I see you again. And I will.
Thank goodness, because I'm telling you, that's something my family never does. We don't.
Carol can really describe Elena, what she liked. I mean, she's not even her mother. And Carol is the one who gave us insight into baby Elena, for sure.
Say goodbye. Even when my boys passed away, I didn't tell them goodbye. I said, I'll see you later. But because goodbye seems so permanent. But it's those memories, it's that love, it's the traditions we made, it's all of those things that we carry throughout our life. And then we plant those little seeds into our kids and they plant them into theirs. That's why when I end these live streams, I say it takes zero effort to be a good human being. Because I think we are born knowing what a good person should be. We know when things feel right and when things feel wrong.
Yes, I always say that kindness costs you nothing.
Exactly.
And to love that little girl will always be a privilege and an honor I hold in my heart.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are very welcome. Anytime, Carol. Anytime.
Thank you so much, Crystal, for your prayers, your love, and your support, for never giving up, and just for simply being you.
Well, thank you, honey. Like I said, anytime there's news, we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
If the chat don't care like this, we want people to, we hear so much of the bad. We want people to know when something good is happening. But most of all, we want Elena's name out there. She will never be forgotten. What happened to her that don't define who she was. But if we can get her story out there, that might protect the next child. The next child might not have to go through what Elena did. So like and share this out. And I appreciate each and every one of you that have showed up, showed support, and been patient, because that's what we've had to do. In the real world, there's not new news every day, you all. There's just not. And I said from the beginning, I will cover this kid with dignity and respect. And
Crystal has done that. Crystal has done that, you guys. She hasn't came on and made up stuff or, tried to take something and, make it that it's something that it's not. And I respect Crystal so much for that. I really do. This case is horrible, you guys. It's horrible. For sure. Well, let's see if Carol has anything else to say. I was looking, okay. So let me I'm going to read a little bit here to you guys. My goodness. I want to pop up a picture of Elena. I know it's not that great because it's in with the news. I'm just going to read this real quick. There were two significant developments in the Baby Elena case on Wednesday. Elena Hembree was a 17-month-old girl who passed away last July after suffering severe injuries at a Middlesbrough home, including alleged sexual abuse. Her mother, Erica Lawson, was initially charged with manslaughter, second degree, failure to report child abuse, first degree, criminal abuse, first degree of a child under the age of 12, and wanton endangerment. After her indictment, Commonwealth's attorney, Lisa Fugate, amended the charges to first degree red rum. And as we know, they were seeking the DP. That is now off the table. We knew that at first it was only her mother facing the charges. And let me see. Okay, I'm not going to go through why they decided to drop the DP charges. Okay, we know that aggravating circumstances, would have had to say that kind of like Elena being unalived, was it intentional or not intentional? And there at the first, the Commonwealth kept saying the word intentional, but they didn't clarify. So, I mean, kind of a political thing. Heck, I don't know. But we do know the DP is off the table for her mother. And a lot of this is on that. And if you guys want to look into that, it's very easy just to pull up Elena Hembree, put her name in the Google search bar. You will find everything you need. So, we know that there was non-accidental blunt force trauma. That came out in the medical examiner's report. Now, I don't think they've mentioned the sexual abuse, but they really haven't gotten into a lot of that that I've actually seen. I'm sure all of that is going to come out in court. Like I said, this, and I'm not going to keep you guys on here very long. You know, it's sad. I know I'm not real good at telling these stories all the time. But it is sad because, you know, just not people's cups of tea to, you know, hear about this stuff sometimes, I guess. So, Harvey Gallahan, here he is. I'll show you his picture again. Was indicted on 4 counts this morning. One is red rum and 3 counts of criminal abuse, first in the first degree, for his role in the unaliving of 17-month-old Elena Hembree in July of 2023. If you guys take anything away from this hour live I just did, take away her name. Take away her name. Remember who she is. Hey, Minnie Pearl. So, we shall be watching. Let me read it to you. I'm going to read the indictment to you guys again, just so you can understand it. Count 1, murder of wantonly engaging in conduct which created grave risk of unaliving to EH, a child under the age of 12, thereby causing the death. He engaged in conduct which created a high level risk of Elena being unalived. July 4th to July 30th, they're saying he committed the offense of criminal abuse in the first degree by permitting another person in his care and control during the requisite time to be abused. So what does that tell us right there? Elena was in his care? Why was Elena in his care? Thereby causing torture, cruel confinement, or cruel punishment. Let me see that. Hold on. Cruel punishment. Hold on. Oh, I don't see it. Okay. All right. Anyhow, they took Elena to the hospital on July 28th. They said it was, 48 to 72 hours after. It was like 2 days after what had happened to her. That's sad. She passed away on the 30th of July. Yes. So this is the thing. They say that she was being harmed that whole time. That whole time. Where they waited the 48 to 72 hours when they took her to the emergency room, that's when they are saying that Elena suffered the blunt force trauma to the back of her head. To the back of her head. Hang on a minute. Sorry. Okay. So that's basically what that's saying. How long did mom actually know? Because if Carol seen her on, what'd she say, like the 4th, and Elena already seemed to have a bruise on her face or something, then it sounds to me they were doing horrific things to Elena that whole time. That whole time. Oh my goodness. But mom's only getting certain charges against her. Sad, right? But this is where it's going to take another turn I see coming, is because this man was among several other suspects whose DNA was tested in connection with the case. So it sounds to me like they've been taking a lot of DNA samples. They were taking DNA samples from grown-ass men in connection with horrific things being done to a 17-month-old little beautiful baby girl for their own fucked up reasons. Who does that shit? And like I said, some of them who may not get caught, be on the lookout. Put a bolo out for pedo motherfucking weird asses. You guys know I just can't keep my mouth shut. I can't. At all. I mean, come on. Hey, even if some of them may not have been guilty of anything, even being around that shit, that law enforcement is like, hey, we need to get your DNA. What's that say about your character? I mean, I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I'm fucking saying it. What's that show about your character? That law enforcement would ring, ring, ring. Hey, we need to get some DNA off of you. It involves a 17-month-old little girl that is no longer with us. Kind of messed up, isn't it? Kind of messed up. But don't nobody come to me and say, but mommy was, mom wasn't there. Who the fuck just leaves a little baby with a little baby girl with a bunch of fucking men? They're all allegedly doing substances. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. We will definitely keep up on this, you guys. Crystal, thank you for covering Elena's case. Thank you, girl. Crystal's always kept Elena's name out there. She sure has. And I don't forget about her, Crystal. I sure don't. Not at all. So I hope they all are, you know, arrested and dealt with. Look at all these. We've covered a lot of these cases, and a lot of them are qualifying for the DP. Wood chipper. Who's in the wood chipper, Mrs. T? Who's in the wood chipper? You know a case where somebody... There are cases where people get thrown in wood chippers. They really do. They really do. You want me to find one real fast? Hold on. There's a couple of them. Bada bing, bada boom. What the heck is that? What did remain calm come up on? Hold on, is this a wood chipper? Oh my goodness, you guys, what did I just come upon? Is it a wood chipper story? Oh my gosh. Okay. I am not going to talk about this wood chipper story because this time belonged to Elena. Justice for Elena. Justice, justice, justice for Elena. And like I said, if you guys don't even think about the case, you know, don't care, whatever, you know, it's all good in the hood, but try to remember that name. Try to remember that name. Hopefully, justice prevails. Now, I might pop on later and talk about this wood chipper case. It looks pretty interesting. But I didn't want to do it while I'm talking about Elena. Like I said, you guys, please go check out Cold Case Crystal. I will pop over into my thingy-mabobber and put it in there. I'll put it in my description. Like I said, Crystal has followed this case, and she has done it with a lot of class, you guys. With a lot of class. She hasn't come out and made up stuff or anything like that. And, you know, it's hard not to talk about cases that, but when they get to a certain point and there's nothing left to talk about until somebody's arrested or, you know, someone's charged or what the medical examiner says the cause of death is. And I mean, I'm just that kind of person. I want to know what the cause of death is. I want to know, you know, I want to know all law enforcement information for sure. But you know, I always love to have a good conversation about things too. I'm just weird like that. But thank you guys for coming in. And like I said, just remember her name and remember that she needs justice. She needs justice like Michael Vaughn. She needs justice like Summer Wells. She needs justice like Sebastian Rogers. She needs justice like Haley Cummings. She needs, who else? If there is a name of a child that needs justice, feel free to put their names in my chat. Because there's a lot. There's a whole lot. And I am not going to sit here and tell you guys that I told you the case better than Crystal, because I'm telling you guys, go over and listen to Crystal when she talks about Elena. Oh, thanks, H. I forgot, dude. Am I up that far already? Thank you, H. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Crystal. Thank you, thank you. I know I didn't do it as much justice as you, but I appreciate you. For real, I do. I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Yes, I do have one last part of the Jody Sue Brown interview. I just needed to take a woo-saw moment from that, if you know what I mean. We'll get the last part done, I promise. Yes, Vanita, I know who you're talking about. Lily and Jack. Oh my gosh, from Canada, yes. Oh, dang, Vanita. That's crazy, isn't it? That story's crazy. Yes, ma'am. I'll have to talk about that. Girl, it's a wild world we're living in. For sure. What's up, Jude? Hey, Jude. My question about how views are counted on YouTube was to make sure me doing replay would ensure you got the view. No, I know. You didn't derail me, Lil Deb. You did not derail me, my friend, at all. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it counts as a view, I guess. I don't watch myself. I cannot stand to hear myself talk. I can do a lot of talking, but I just don't like to hear myself talk. For real. For reals. And I'm going to do something for the members too. Hopefully I'll have it ready by this weekend, members. So my members need something special. So we may do a after dark members only. Wouldn't that be fun? After dark, members only. We could have some fun with that. For sure. If you look into their home, why people keep bringing up summer. Oh. What do you mean? With Lily and Jack, people are bringing up summer? Well, I think what I was trying to say, maybe I didn't nip it in the bud real quick. I think that people who, I just think that people who, people need to cover other kids also. And that I don't want to sound bitchy when I say that. But my thought on that would be, of course, we're not going to forget Summer. You know, of course we're not. I'm not. But I would rather, in Summer's name, talk about other children also. Talk about other children also. That's just me, though. You know, some people just, it's all about Summer, and that's okay. I mean, I don't care. To each their own. If, you know, they got stuff to talk about, then good for them, right? And I wish law enforcement, you know, 4 years is coming up, and it is going to be a very sad day if they come out and say, we have nothing. We have nothing. Give us a freaking crumb, law enforcement. Just give us a little crumb that you know, may be looking into someone. You don't have to say who it is. I mean, damn, everybody on social media has already called out everybody from the area, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their great-grammy, great-grandpa. I mean, we know more about people in that area than probably some of the people in that area. I'm just saying. For real. But yes, Vanita, thank you for saying Lily and Jack. That blew my mind when you said that. Yeah, Lily and Jack. So I will try to remember to have a conversation about that too. But if I can pop on tonight for about an hour, we're going to talk about the red rum of Healy Crafts. Should be pretty interesting. Yeah. She was a Danish flight attendant who was red rummed by her pilot husband. Oh, wow. All right, that's going to be interesting. Please don't forget about little Elena. Elena Hembree. Justice for Elena. Justice for her. And all the other babies. All right, peace out, everybody. Go have fun. Do you. Go cause some havoc. No, I don't want to tell you that. Because if you get in trouble, you'll be like, Remain Calm said that I could just run amok. For real. Well, thank you, Benita. I'm glad you come out of the bushes every once in a while. Pat Wicks. Calling Pat Wicks. You need to do you need to check in at home, lady. You need to check in at home. I ain't heard from Sassy Ann in a while either. Teresa Jones, I still don't know what happened to you, but I hope y'all are okay. Okay. Go have fun. Do you. And don't forget, you guys, really, go over and check out Crystal's content on Elena. It is, I mean, this case is, there is a lot. When you get into Elena's dad, when you get into Elena's mom, I mean, It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. So, all right. Bye, you guys. Later. Thank you, Poppy. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, H. We, everybody.